see, because I want to. See, because I want to. Testing audio. See, because I want to. Testing audio. See, because I want to. Testing audio. That, so that works. See, because I want to. Testing audio.
Michigan faces a critical choice between proven leadership and failed Washington politics. Mike Rogers has a proven. Michigan faces a critical choice between proven leadership and failed Washington politics. Mike Rogers has a proven. Michigan faces a critical choice between proven leadership and failed Washington politics. Mike Rogers has a proven. Michigan faces a critical choice between proven leadership and failed Washington politics. Okay, folks. Here we go. As one Crookshank here, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, former Division I college football player, and current 5-time published author and educator, back again. And let me tell you, it is always an opportunity every single day. And I relay this message to as many people as I can, is every single day you're going to have an opportunity to either get better or you're going to get worse. And one of the two, you're going to have that option every single day. There's no staying the same. And whenever that decision comes up, I don't know what it may be for you, it's on you to decide to get better that day. And let me give you a real life example. So if you can recall, if you happen to be on my live stream earlier this morning, or if you've been keeping up with my work, you know that I've committed to doing a live stream every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Myself being the morning person that I am, I decided I like to do it at 8 a.m. in the morning. Do what I got to do, knock it out. That's where I'm probably the most energetic, because I do teach full time, and after dealing with the kids and all that, I get a little drowsy. So I decided to wake up earlier, get to the school or earlier to record the live stream and all that. And I had an incredible episode. I mean, everything flowed, every point I hit. I mean, I was just out there, doing the damn thing. And I realized once the recording ended, I realized that it was actually on mute. So all this time I spent a good portion of the day trying to figure out how to transcribe the audio, and everything was recorded. So it was a complete mess. And that's where the decision actually hit me to say, you know what, instead of just saying, hey, you didn't get it this day, or, hey, just move on to the next recording or whatever it is. That is not what I did. Obviously, I'm back here again, re-recording and touching on the same points, or touching on similar points, because what I do, the work I do it from the heart. I do it because I actually want to see, I do actually believe in the services that I offer. I believe in what I'm doing. I believe in everything I'm about. I believe in what exactly I'm trying to create in people, and what my services can actually do to the people. do for people. And when you believe in yourself so much, then it should be easy to re-record. It shouldn't even be a question. It should be a situation where, something like that happens. Hey, okay, let's record again and let's get it done and forget about how you may feel, how tired you may feel, and all that kind of stuff. So we're back again, kind of re-recording and reiterating some of the points that I was making this morning, because they're still in my head. I don't take a ton of notes for the show or anything like that. This is just me off the cuff, giving you the experience I have, and doing what I can do on my part to make to make business owners' lives easier, not just business owners, but obviously a lot of the business owners and everybody that they're responsible for, taking my experiences, taking everything I've done and applying it to businesses. So this is your first time meeting me, by the way. If it's the first time hearing my voice, name is, like I said, Aswan Crookshank, a former Division I college football player and current 5-time published author and educator. And what I do now with the whole Move Swiftly concept, the whole idea of Move Swiftly, is I created a framework, a business, a brand, an organization, a way of life in which you take the lessons, the teamwork lessons, more specifically the teamwork lessons that you learn on the football field, and you apply it to businesses, and you apply it to organizations in which want to reduce the turnover and make it so the teams and the employees are actually moving like a cohesive team. So what I do every single Wednesday, what I've been doing every single Wednesday, is I've coined the phrase Winterpreneur tip. All right, the Winterpreneur. Now, if you're listening to this and you're saying to yourself, that term Winterpreneur is something I've never heard of before, it's because yours truly, actually coined the term Winterpreneur. All right, we all know what an entrepreneur is. Some of you may or may not know what an intrapreneur is. An intrapreneur is actually somebody that has an entrepreneur mindset, but has a job that's paying them every 2 weeks, and has been blessed enough to be in a situation with the business and the entrepreneurial vision that they have is in alignment with whatever that company that's paying you every 2 weeks. There's a clear connection between the two entities, between the two organizations. And I just added a W at the beginning because of the football background and made it a Winterpreneur tip. So start off every single Wednesday giving you a Winterpreneur tip. And for you guys listening to me right now, you are lucky because you just got one previously. And the fact that I'm actually re-recording this, all right, that's actually what I mean when I say Winterpreneur, and actually doing your due diligence, staying responsible for your own self-determination, me knowing the long day I had, but still knowing that I needed to make sure I recorded this and all that kind of stuff. Me doing that's actually a Winterpreneur tip that I have already given to you. But the one I was speaking about earlier this morning was actually something that leads into today's topic. All right. So today's topic, you see the topic there. It's the right, capital RIGHT. Get it? The right. The right replacement, and you see the names: JD Vance, Stony Brook football, my alma mater, Stony Brook University, and we're talking the Washington Commanders. Shout out to the Washington Commanders for so far having a great season. Myself being such a diehard fan of the team. There's two teams. All right. Again, first time listening to me, I got to put this out there now, just so you know. Talk a lot of football over here in the Move Swiftly world. All right. Washington Commanders and the Michigan Wolverines are the two teams I am a diehard fan of. I don't mess around. I don't play around when it comes to those two teams specifically. I make sure. If you've ever watched a game with me while one of those two are playing, you would know, hey, I don't play around when it comes to. Wait, hold on 1 second. I don't play around. So because of what happened earlier, now I'm kind of paranoid. So I'm making sure the live stream is recording and the sound is on and all that kind of stuff. So let me just make sure everything is moving cohesively. And the sound is on and all that kind of stuff. All right, so good. I got it. Just make sure everything. I got it. All right. Yeah, it kind of made me paranoid because of what happened earlier. So yes, as far as the Winterpreneur tip, and like I was telling you, diehard Commanders fan and diehard Michigan Wolverines fan, and we'll get into more of why Michigan and more of why the Commanders as we go along in our journey and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, today's Winterpreneur tip, the one that I gave earlier this morning, was actually from Sunday. All right, Sunday, if you do keep up with football and you do keep up with the NFL, you know that the Washington Commanders had a very big weekend. A very big win, a very exciting win. They go and win the game off a last-second Hail Mary, all right? And where I was, I'll just tell you guys where I was during that time. And just so we're clear, I am a diehard. Like when I say diehard, I mean I used to cry myself to sleep on nights that the Redskins, now Commanders, would lose. This is how big of a fan I am of that organization and how much they've actually put me through. So it's Sunday, and it's one of the biggest victories in recent years for the Washington Commanders. And ask, you can put it in the chat if you want, but ask me where exactly I was during that specific time. I was actually, and I'm this obviously a rhetorical question, but or if you want to put it in the chat, that's fine. And by the way, if anybody, is in the chat, make sure you shout yourself out, put your email in, and make sure you contact me about, getting plugged into my world. I have a free guide on how to use innovative teamwork to reduce turnover and all that kind of stuff. A lot of the links and everything will be posted in somewhere in the show notes. And as we get going, you'll start to see me make these announcements about how you can stay in my world, some of the free resources I provide to business owners and all that kind of stuff. But I've kind of already gotten into the episode, so we'll make sure I put show notes. I'll put that in the show notes somewhere as you guys continue to come in. All right. But anyway, it was Sunday. It was this past Sunday when again the Commanders had a very, very emotional, very thrilling victory. And I actually missed it. I missed it because I was doing work on my business. It was Sunday, I remember Sunday afternoon, and there was a boxing gym that I'm actually going to be partnering with because I'm going to be starting free boxing lessons out here in West Palm Beach, as you probably saw. Actually, let me just show you this real quick. I'll be starting free boxing lessons out here in West Palm Beach. And I had actually went to a boxing pop-up workout. It's a new gym coming out here in West Palm Beach, new boxing gym named Rumble Boxing and Fitness. And I was doing a workout with them and doing some collaborations and figuring out how to work with them. Now that workout was like from 5 to 6. So there was still time for me to catch the end of the Commanders game. And what I decided to do was, because there was a situation with my podcast, there was a situation in which I had to actually publish over 100 episodes of my podcast, because when I first started doing the Move Swiftly podcast, I would put music at the end of every episode. And what actually ended up happening was Spotify flagged it recently, and they sent me an email, said, look, you got 24 hours to remove these episodes or remove the music from these episodes, or we will remove them, or we'll delete them from the feed and all that. So I spent all last week, hours last week, republishing, going back, trimming the music out of the episodes, and then republishing that. So during that time, I'm talking about during the time in which the Hail Mary, Jaden Daniels threw that Hail Mary to put the Commanders up over the Bears, I was doing that work as much as I was doing the tedious work of republishing my podcast and all that kind of stuff. So when it comes to being a winterpreneur, and I'm telling you all this, not to necessarily impress you about me necessarily, but impress upon you to, hey, look, when you're in business, when you decide that you want to be in business, when you decide that you want to put your name behind something and you want to build an organization, build something from scratch, there's going to come a time, or even if it's time to be a parent, right? Time to be a boss or whatever the situation is, there's going to be that obligation that you start to have to yourself to say, hey, as much as I want to be at a sports bar watching it with my Commanders faithful, I found a Commanders bar out here in West Palm Beach. As much as I wanted to be out there hanging with my team and watching that victory and, slapping high fives with all my Commanders fans, I was here on this laptop making sure this last piece got done, because I knew it was something that I didn't want to have to go into next week. That's what I mean when I say wintrepreneur. Are you actually doing the work that you need to do? Is that your responsibility? All right, that's no politician. We're going to dive into some politics in a couple minutes here, but I'll just put it out there now. There's no politician that's going to do that for you. That is something that's under your control. That is something that you can create. That is something that you're able to do if you have the discipline to do it. All right. So being that, let's get into the actual topic today. The topic today is understanding the value, the importance, the kind of the life changing or the business changing, the way your business can actually grow and